for coming tonight. We really appreciate it. You know, we live in an age of shortcuts, instant gratification, and abbreviations. You might be laughing with some friends and someone will say, LOL. You might hear something wondrous or amazing or disgusting, and someone will go, OMG. And I don't even mean teenage girls. I've heard women my age use these expressions, and I know it's driven by our texting age. Because when we were growing up, I don't think there were a lot of abbreviations. My father always told us we were SOL, which is a military term for you're kind of out of luck. And my all-time favorite is BLT. Now, I'm familiar with a few more abbreviations. I'm very interested in the arts, and everybody's always saying, what is that artist's POV? Yes, what was the author's point of view? Okay. And I was at the doctor's office yesterday, and the receptionist said, you've got to call your insurance company and get your EOB, because you're not doing this procedure without your EOB. And I said, wait, whoa, what is an EOB? An explanation of benefits. So you just used an abbreviation that not many people might be familiar with to expedite this conversation, but I had to stop you, and you had to explain it, and now we've spent twice as much time as necessary. Thanks so much. Now, we were in the high school gym about a month ago at our daughter's volleyball game, and one really fun thing about sitting on bleachers, especially if you're tall, is your knees are in somebody's back, or somebody's knees are in your back. So you have to strategically place yourself on the bleachers so you can visit with the other parents and enjoy the game. So there was a mom sitting on one side of my knees, talking over my knees to another mom. And she said, Katie's really struggling with ED. And I looked at the other mom to see what her response was, and it was kind of normal. And their conversation went on, and I couldn't glean what they were talking about. Now, in our house, every TV has every sports channel blasting all the time. And especially during baseball season, every commercial is about ED, so I knew what this was. So finally I said, excuse me, does Katie have a 75-year-old boyfriend? And she turns and she's, what are you talking about? And I said, why is your 17-year-old daughter worried about erectile dysfunction? And she said, ED is early decision. It has to do with the college admissions process. What is the matter with you? And I said, you know, Kristen, I can never answer that question. So I maneuvered my body this way because once you're in bleachers, you can't move. So I twisted this way and started talking to these parents. Now, our daughter's volleyball game was way behind because the first two volleyball games ran long. So one of the moms said, I've got a massage. Would you be able to give Bob a ride home if I have to leave early? I said, sure. She looks at her husband and goes, a good massage is better than sex. Sorry, honey. And then she looks at me, and then poor Bob is so embarrassed, and I'm super uncomfortable, and we're in this weird Bermuda Triangle of ick until I say, TMI, Jill, TMI. Now, I don't consider myself a leader, but I'm definitely not a follower. I'm a participator. I love to participate in fads because I want to be in the know. Now, a lot of fads are hundreds of years old, but they've only caught fire in the United States in the last 10 or 15 years. I've tried yoga, I've tried a sensory deprivation tank, and I've had way too many apple cider vinegar drinks. I was even a vegetarian for 50 days. Now, these 7 weeks of extreme health had me eating more bread, crackers, chips, cookies, and crap than I could get my hands on, and I was always starving. It came to an abrupt end when I was feeding Snowflake, our cat, one day. I cracked open her can of Fancy Feast, liver pate flavor, and I said, this kind of smells delicious. I wonder if it's good. No, I just need a cheeseburger. That's it. Now, I do value authenticity in some of my fads. I wanted to try acupuncture, so I found a real Chinese doctor from Beijing, a neurologist. She opened my chi and got my energy going. I wanted to try meditation, so I found a real Indian guru from Mumbai who has quite a following, which makes my latest obsession even more puzzling. I am really involved with the celery juice diet. Now, this was started by a guy with no medical background, and he might not even be a high school graduate. I can't find that. But he is friends with Gwyneth Paltrow and Sylvester Stallone. He's written 5 New York Times bestsellers about nutrition, health, and our bodies. Now, he gets his information from a spirit guide from the future named Compassion. Now, we are supposed to drink 16 ounces of celery juice on an empty stomach, and it will lower our blood sugar, raise our energy, stave off diabetes, cancer, and hair loss. I'm in! Now, there was a juicing craze a few years ago, so we have a big, high-powered juicer, of course, in the corner of our kitchen. I took it down and dusted it off. I can only gag down about 10 ounces of celery juice at a time. And I was telling a friend of mine, I have to hold my breath on the first few gulps before I allow myself to taste it. And she said, "You're such a baby, it's just celery juice." You just said you never tried it. It's not cotton candy juice, it's green dirt. I don't even know if it works, but I can't stop drinking it. So I decided to consult my own spirit from the future, and her name is Magic. She told me it's okay to keep drinking Mountain Dew and eating Oreos, and I'm gonna be just fine. Thank you.